Okay, good evening, good afternoon. Roger Pascal here, Real Impact Training. And this is our Sunday night call, our Sunday night fireside chat. So I'm excited you're here. I'm excited that we have the audience that we have and everything going on. This week, we're going to be talking about how thankful we are. It's Thanksgiving week here in the States, and how thankful we are of what we have, what the opportunities that we have the education in front of us that we can go forward with and make things happen. This is an exciting time in our world. We have lots of great things happening. We don't get, personally, I don't get focused on all the negative. I get focused on the positive and how we can make things happen around the world. I was on a great Zoom call this week with the project that I'm working on over in the Ukraine, and it was an interesting Zoom call. Wonderful people over there that I've been working with for a couple of years on lots of different projects. A lot of them are medical projects, and that's kind of what I do in my spare time and my charitable life with Rotary International. And we are just need to all be very thankful for what we have and what we have to offer to others. We've got lots of subject twos in the works right now. We had an all day subject two training last Saturday, a week from yesterday. And oh my gosh, the deals that are happening, the things that are happening. One thing that I mentioned in my subject to trainings is until we are trained, until we're knowledgeable about something, we really don't even see it out there. We really don't even see what what comes across our plate, what comes in front of us. The example I use often is um, if you've ever had twins, or if you've ever had a family member that had twins, or you are a twin, you really don't notice how many twins are out there until that happens. You also, same type of issue as if you're buying a red Mustang, for instance. You never see a red Mustang until you buy that red Mustang, and on the way home, you see 4 or 5 red Mustangs on the way home. And you've never seen one before. You think this is cool. Nobody has a red Mustang. Well, the same thing happens with real estate. In whatever area in real estate that you are knowledgeable on, or you gain a knowledge with, is that's when you're going to start noticing it. You're never going to notice a subject to property until you see a subject to. You're never going to notice that maybe other investors out there that are landlords, and they may want to be moving some properties. I was working with a lady this week, working with her to pick up 10 of her properties that she has. We were looking at some creative financing. I didn't get them. I was outbid. That's okay. We'll see if that other bid comes true. It was a little bit higher than what I was willing to come to the table with. Now, if she would have done some creative financing on that, I would have been more apt to pay a higher price. But she was not wanting to go there. But and I wish her the best, and I hope that I don't, for her sake, I hope I don't see this property come back. These 10 properties come back in front of me again. I hope that she gets what she was told she's going to get. I hope it's not somebody kind of messing it around or something on that basis. But there's lots of properties out there. There's lots of ways to get properties. There's lots of things happening out there. But once again, welcome to our call today. I'm excited that you're here. Please be thankful. Be thankful of your opportunities. Be thankful that we live in the time that we live in, that food's available 24 hours a day. You flip a light switch, you have electricity on at your house. You turn on the faucet, you can drink water right out of the faucet. A lot of the world can't do that. A lot of the world does not have reliable electricity. But we are living in some great times right now. And those of us that are educated, and we know that there's a curve on real estate, or there's a correction on real estate, however you want to say that. We are way overdue for the correction. So those of us that are educated, those of us that are knowledgeable, when that correction comes about, we're going to know how to handle that. We're going to know what to do. So going into that, I am going to ask our incredible IMTs, Impact Master Trainers in the Longview, Texas area. I'm going to ask them to come on board with us and talk to us about our tip of the week. So Doug and Renee Toon, oh my gosh, look at y'all. Y'all are you're actually not sitting outside tonight. So you're in the house. I guess a little cool outside, right?
It's dark also.
Oh, it's dark. Yeah, that's right. We have that time change thing that happens. It's the other night. Linda Jean was like, "Oh my gosh, it's only 7:00. It feels like it's midnight."
Right.
So tell us what's going on.
Well, we've been busy all weekend. So our church just hired a new pastor, and I was the chairman of the pastor search committee. And I'm relieved. I'm happy. I'm ready to relax now. I don't have that burden on me anymore. But we were a year getting this done, and I'm finished with it. And he's coming in a couple of weeks, and we're excited.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to talk on was really Dennis's first secret for success in real estate investing, and that's getting your mind right. We're talking about is this a good time to invest? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It kind of really depends on what you believe it is, and you got to know what you want. I saw the bucket sitting on your desk there, Roger, and that's your bucket list bucket. And you got to know what you want. I just ran across so Dennis had us bring a list of 20 things to the mastermind getaway.
Mm-hmm.
And
20 things that you would like to do or experience or be or whatever.
So I actually started that here at home, and I lost it. It disappeared. Actually, I think it got buried on my desk. And I wrote a whole new one. But I'm going to read you some things off of my list that I had 3 months ago.
It hadn't been that long.
It hadn't been long. Anyway, these are some things. I want to get paid to speak. I want to make $1 million as a mentor. I want to have over 20 owner financed properties. I want to buy a house with pure terms. I want to develop our marriage seminar. I want to get my land cleared. I want to get 100 acres to hunt on. I want to start a retirement, a self-directed IRA. I want to pay myself $100,000 a year. I want to become the bank. I want to get my properties into land trusts. And one of the big things is I want to tithe on $100,000. That's $10,000 that I want to tithe on to give away. I want to have time to hunt and fish again. And I want to buy an AR-15, build a smokehouse and a pit to smoke meat in, sing and play in other places, and get fit. And that's just a small part of the list. But what I was talking about before is that you got to know what you want. And Dennis says you got to know that, or you have to believe that what you want to do will work for you. And another thing that I feel like is a part of this is you got to feed your brain. And years ago, I heard Zig Ziglar say that you are who you are and where you are because of the things that have gone into your mind. And you can change who you are and where you are by changing what you put in your mind. And I believe that. And I know that Dennis believes that. So of all the techniques and ways that we can find to invest in properties, which ones work? Which ones work now? All of them. They all work. They all work. You got to work them. You got to make it work. Tony and Cindy, they use letters. I've known people that use signs. I do tax sales. Now, there's some people that won't touch a tax sale. They said, no, it's too risky. Well, what's that? What is risk? One of my favorite quotes, I'm going to pull it out of my pocket because this really is the good news, is that what we do every day as real estate investors is we make money off of risk. We risk our time, our money to make other money. And Helen Keller, this is one of my favorite verses, one of my favorite quotes in all the world. Helen Keller said, "Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure." Wow. Life is either a daring adventure or it's nothing. So what is risk? What is safety? It doesn't exist, folks. You got to get out there and make money by taking risks.
That's right.
And that's my tip.
Wow, that is great. You know, if anybody on this call has not read anything on Helen Keller, it's amazing to me how her mind worked, how knowledgeable she was, how she could see the world with no sight, how she could literally use her other senses and what she overcame. But the stories and the biographies and just the movie The Miracle Worker. I mean, the quote you have there from Helen Keller is just absolutely on target for where we're at, with what we're doing and how this thing works. So
I've heard it said, Roger, very similar. Life is either a daring, bold adventure, or it's nothing at all. It's very
absolutely. So, you know, if we all want to sit around and not take any risk, you know, Dennis talks about this all the time, about playing the game Monopoly. And, you know, you can just go around the board and collect your $200 and
Try to stay out of jail.
Stimulus funds, I guess, is what people use now. Stimulus is the stimulus fund. They're collecting that $200 and work to stay out of jail, not landing in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, but not ever buying real estate, not ever taking, as you just said, Renee, a risk. And we see this all the time with a lot of people out there that don't want to take a risk. They just want to, you know, they just want to sit there and let life happen. And then they complain when they don't get what they feel they deserve to get. You know, we all get, for the most part, what we deserve to get. And the tip you just had is exactly that, is you've got to reach out. You got to make things happen.
Right.
Nobody else is going to do it for you.
It's not magic. You know, it's not magic. You just go do something. Go do something. It doesn't matter what you do. If you don't like real estate, go do something else, but do it. Don't expect somebody else to give it to you.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Follow your dreams. Follow what you want to do. I was talking to some family tonight. I do some mentoring at a elementary school, and I will sit there and, I will ask the kids, who do you want to be when you grow up? If the kids are too young, they're going to talk about Spider-Man and Batman and Wonder Woman. But if they're older, they're going to talk about what they see in life.
Mm-hmm.
And what they see in life is maybe a football player or a basketball player, or a police officer or a fireman or something like that. They don't really see the whole world out there because it's not given to them. So those of us that are adults, we have the opportunity of seeing the whole world, and we have the opportunity of looking out there and saying, what is available to us? And I heard a quote many years ago of somebody that mentioned that, if any of us were to read 1 hour a day about butterflies, and we did that 7 days a week for 1 year, by the end of that year, we'd be one of the top world experts on butterflies.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that you do tax sales, and tax sales is an easy process. A lot of people, as you said, oh, that's hard. You're at risk. Why would you want to do that? But if you have the knowledge, it's not hard. And if you have the knowledge, it's not risky because you know what you're doing, because you eliminate the risk that are out there.
Right.
And so, we're excited. Your next meeting is actually going to be in December on tax sales with Arnie Aberson. I was talking to Arnie this last week. We're not going to be doing a call next Sunday, but the first Sunday in December, we will. And I've asked Arnie to be on that call with us to kind of give us an update of what's going on in tax sales. We're going to try to limit it to 5 minutes, but Arnie, Arnie's 5 minutes may not be 5 minutes, but we're going to work hard to do that. We have CJ over here that we can actually say, just hit the red button. That's right. That's right. And pardon me, but that is so we're excited about that as your next meeting. But thank you so much for that tip of the month and what you do. So tell us about your next meeting in the Big Red Barn, Longview, Texas, East Texas. Okay, so you got Arnie coming in. What is the date on that?
It's the 13th.
Monday, December 13th, second Monday.
Right.
All right.
And I years ago, I guess I met Arnie at your RIA in Lindale.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go to his meetings up in Plano. So I really started filling my head with what he was talking about. And then I just said, okay, I got to learn how to do this. So I just went ahead and dropped the ball and dropped some money and paid him to teach me how to do this. And that's what he does. He offers to take you through your first deal, and it's been a real good ride. So I can't say too much bad about Arnie. He does a lot of times what he says he's going to do, and I just know that when I can pick up the phone and call somebody about, hey, what about this issue or that issue? That's what a mentor is. Mm-hmm. And that's what a mentor does, is that they give you advice on what you're doing. And if I have a question about sub 2, I'm not calling Arnie, I'm calling Roger. If I have questions on other things, I'm going to call someone else. But that's what a mentor does, is they keep you out of trouble. So,
and that's what Arnie is going to do with anyone who's interested in learning more about the tax sale process. So 6:30, we start with networking. And, I want to just encourage anybody that comes to any of the impact meetings, make it a priority to come early enough to network with some people. And I know that word can be scary for maybe someone who's shy, but it's really, really important to learn how to connect and make relationships with people. You never know when you're going to meet your next investor. You never know when you're going to meet the next person that you're going to buy a house from because they've got a deal that you didn't know about. It's really, really important to network. Money contacts, all kinds of great things can happen. And if you don't know how to network, we're going to do a training on that this year, how to network effectively. So we'll let you know more about that later. But ours starts at 6:30, and we like to have a little bit of fun. So we bring in chips and salsa. And we encourage you to network and eat some chips and salsa. And then our meeting starts at 7.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. Don't take it lightly that Renee's talking about chips and salsa. That's some of the best salsa you'll ever have in your life. So get there to T Blanco's. Yes, a great restaurant. Yeah, you took us there. They have fried avocados. How cool is that? And they're seedless avocados because the seeds are already taken out. So that's cool.
Good stuff.
You don't break the seed.
Right.
So well, good deal. They so we have we are excited that Arnie's going to be there, and that is, even if you're not doing tax sales, anybody on this call, you need to be on there, or you need to be in Longview. You need to be listening to this because we have lots of things that are happening. We have not had a traditional month on tax sales in almost 2 years,
right.
In about 18 months now, or 20 months.
Yeah.
And there's still some tax sales that are going on out there, but when those floodgates open, and right now we have a lot of competition, but there's going to be a point we're not going to have a lot of competition, and those prices are going to just plummet, and it's going to give you and give us an example. You bought a tax sale at a really, really good price one time.
Yeah. Well,
tell us about that. Give us a synopsis on it.
So I didn't know what was going to happen, and that's the way it is with a tax sale. You could pick a property and determine what you're going to spend on it or what your top dollar is, and show up and it's gone. They've either paid the taxes or they gotten a loan to pay the taxes. You just never know. And we showed up there. I was willing to go to 19,000, and it basically starts at what's owed on taxes, probably plus some attorney's fees. But it started at $4,100. The bidding started, and we were going up $100
increments
at a time. And toward the end, it was me and another guy. So it really wasn't that long of a sale, but it got to $5,000. And he paused, and I paused, and the gavel was coming down. I said 5,100, and he threw up his hands and walked off. And I thought, what just happened? Because this was a really kind of a big 2-1. At the time, we added actually there was a bathroom had been started, but that's not the great thing to me about tax sales is there's no closing. It's you pay the bill and then you have access to the property. And
there are a few guidelines you have to follow, but that's one of the reasons you're going to want to come here, Arnie, train on Monday, December 13th, because you want to know that what they say at the front of the courthouse steps and what actually is accurate information, because they're a little bit different. And so that's part of what you can learn.
Well, the fact is that property, once we got it, we did a little bit of rehab, enough to get a renter in there, and we rented it for a couple of years. Made $13,000 there. Of course, we paid the taxes again and paid insurance. And then after it was about almost 2 years was up, I finished the rehab finished the bathroom, painted the outside, and we sold it to somebody. They got a great deal, and we got a great deal. Actually was all in at $30,000
with the cost of the house and all the rehab.
And we sold it for 103.
Wow, that is great. I love that story. You've told that to me before. People need to, but you've got to know what you're doing.
Right.
If you don't know what you're doing, you go to a tax sale, you can really get things messed up. Really my gosh. I've talked to people that, I'm like, well, first of all, you didn't go to the tax sale. You went to the mortgage sale. You didn't know the difference between the two. And you didn't buy a mortgage. You bought an HOA lien.
Right.
Or you bought a mechanic's lien, or you bought a second mortgage.
Right.
And you don't own the property. You have a lien that you may and may not ever collect. So know what you're doing. Get the knowledge. Wow, guys, y'all are just great. I am blessed that we get the knowledge from y'all. I learn every week when we're talking. I learn every time that we meet. So thank you so much for being on here tonight. And y'all have a blessed and wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank all your family for being who they are. Even at times we may not agree, in families, but we are so blessed that that we're all having this opportunity to help others and make things happen for ourselves. So thank you so much, guys, for being on here.
Thank you.
And we will see you in a few. Good deal. All right. Now we're going to jump over to Mr. Tim Lockhart, our IMT expert out of Wichita Falls, Texas. I've known Tim for many years, and we were talking a little earlier today. We have the opportunity of talking every Monday morning about life and about business and everything else. But Tim and I, we have a great relationship with that. And Tim is our money guy. Tim is our guy that probably knows more about money than most any of the rest of us. He is retired Air Force and really gets into the knowledge of making things happen. And so, Tim, talk to us today a little bit about money. So,
okay, well, that's kind of a very broad subject. Anything specific? Owner financing or?
Well, we have one of the questions that has come up multiple times is about how let's start out with John Lyle. John Lyle has a question on here that we're going to start out with, and it's if you don't have cash to offer a cash deal, what is your best option to make the offer?
Okay, well, as a good student of Dennis, I would like to answer that with a quote from Dennis. All the money that you'll ever need is available to you. Is that right, Roger?
Absolutely.
So,
but how do we get there? How does somebody that's never done this business figure that out?
Yeah. So first, I'd like to answer that by talking about that cash offer. And so, what is that cash offer? So, we teach making 3 offers. So one is a high price, usually their asking price or something close to that, in all terms. Another one is all cash, but that's going to be a low price. And so it's going to be the terms they want, which is cash now, but it's going to be our price. And then the third offer is one in the middle. It's usually about halfway in between the two, and it's a combination, some cash now and some terms. And so our all cash price is going to be a really, really, really good price. So if you have a really good deal, then the money is going to be easy to find. to fund it. So the money follows good deals. And so I would just like to challenge the mindset of the question of, if I don't have cash, and change that around to, if I get a good enough price, then I will be able to find the cash. And I mean, all of us are here available to help. We have a network of investors. All of our groups have people that are seasoned investors, and some of those are private money lenders that come to our groups. And we can reach out to each other and to each other's groups to help find capital to fund deals.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Yes, and and that's kind of a broad answer. The ways I find deals is or cash for deals is a lot of private lending.
Mm-hmm.
We have a wonderful process in our one-on-one training of, we teach you how to be bankable. We teach you what to do to go to the bank, what banks to go to get funding from banks, to get funding from mortgage companies for long-term lending. Now, you've got a program out there where you're doing some short-term lending
Mm-hmm.
and providing that. It's not, I wouldn't classify it as hard money. I would classify it more as a private money network that
Right.
you are a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And what would the process be of that for somebody to come in and have never done real estate investments in their life? What would you expect from them? How would you make this work for them?
Um, 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 yes, I have access to some national funds that are funded by private individuals. So they're I guess you would call it private equity funds. It's not Wall Street money. And we can fund up to 65% of the after repaired value of and 90% of the purchase price, and 110% of the repair cost. And then the repair money will be escrowed out on a reimbursable basis. So even if it's a new investor that hasn't ever done a deal before, if the deal makes sense, then we can get the funding for it.
Okay, so you're saying, that they still have to have skin in the game. Now, are you okay if they have a partner that is, they're working a partnership together, and their partner is bringing in part of that equity that's needed to be put in place, private money? Is that something that works with this too?
Yes, that's fine. We only lend to entities for non-owner occupied deals, so it can't be for your personal residence, and it has to be in an entity. So that entity could be could be one or two different entities, or it could be an entity that you set up as a partnership with somebody, and then that person could bring in the money.
Okay, Tim, on the entity, would that have to be an LLC, or could it be a partnership, or how does that work?
Yes, it could be pretty much. You could be LLC, S corp, or anything like that, as long as it's not lending to an individual's name that's going to live in a house, right? So,
okay.
So it's a commercial type loan product. So it's not to an individual and not to owner occupied.
How much time would they be talking about between the time they reach out to you and get you their basic information to the time of closing? How much time would they need on that?
Yeah, the first one, probably estimate 30 days. We can do faster, but especially on the first one or two, it's probably going to take 30 days. There is an evaluation option that we don't have to get a full-blown appraisal. Of course, we know the issues with appraisals all over the nation right now. The average age of an appraiser is 65 years old. I don't know if you knew that. So anybody that's looking for a job that's in high demand, that you get to choose your work, go learn how to be an appraisal and help us all out because we need more appraisers out there. But those take a long time. But we do have an evaluation option that is done in 5 days.
So we're skipping the
3 or 4
appraisal.
weeks, right? Yeah, it's like an automated. It uses uses artificial intelligence and public data and a physical person going out taking pictures. So it's kind of a combination, not a full appraisal, but it does give a pretty good valuation of the property. It only takes 5 days versus 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow, that's great. And and you can do this in not only in Texas, you can do this in other states too, right?
Yes, about 42 or 43 of the 50 states we can.
Oh, wow. Okay. So still the surrounding states around Texas are good.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Okay. I had another one. So we have a question here from Robert from Robert. I don't know where he's from, but what source do you use most often for your money? I mean, what source do you use? You've been doing investing for a long time, Tim. You've done a lot of deals. You've worked a lot of deals with your students and with your various investor clients.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the most common source of funding that you have found out there?
Yeah.
And let's just we got that's a big target. So let's say let's narrow that down to investment, fixing flips.
Yeah. Yeah, for fix and flips, I've used that same fund that I was just describing several times, and I basically broker money to myself through that private equity fund. Another good source is small community banks or state banks. I've got a good relationship with one here that basically I've developed a relationship, and I borrowed money and I paid it back, and I borrowed money and paid it back. So now I can walk in there and just say, hey, I'd like to do this deal. And he says, okay, what's the purchase price and how much do you need? And so that's kind of nice. Of course, that's not the first time you walk into the bank. So I want to clarify that. But it's good to work with small state banks, banks that have maybe 4 or 5 or 6 branches in a regional area, and get to know the bankers so that when a deal comes up, then you can walk in and you already have that relationship. And so that's a really good source of funds. And I've been able to get 100% financing on my deals through state banks. One deal, I used a combination of funding sources like Dennis teaches. And so I got 85% of the deal funded through the community or the state bank. And so that was the purchase price and the repairs. So he added all that up, and then he took 85% of that. He said, this is what I'll fund. And I took the other amount and I put that. So he funded the purchase price and part of the repairs. And so I put the rest of the repairs on a credit card and fixed the house and flipped it. paid back the credit card, paid back the bank. And so I had 100% financing on a flip through a state bank.
What if somebody has bad credit and they don't have that access to that? On your lending, is it more deal based, or is it more individual based, or a mix of the two? How does that work?
Yeah, it's deal based. If you have no or bad credit, then you're probably going to have a tough time going to a state bank and getting funding until you fix that, which of course we can help with as well, right? Um, 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 but the funding that the funding sources that I can tap into, they'll fund somebody that has bad credit and has never done a deal.
Wow.
Of course, the interest rates and points are going to be higher. It's going to cost more to get that type of money, but I just offer, if you could make $20,000 or not make $20,000, are a couple more points and a couple of more percentages on interest rate worth it?
Absolutely. There you go.
So there you go. We can fund the deal. If it's a good deal and you're going to make money, then we can fund it.
All right. All right. And then earlier tonight, Tim and I were on the phone, and at my sub 2 deal, we were talking about doing some wraps, and he had asked me to clarify what I do on wraps and how I do that. I set up a different bank account for each of my wraps. That way I can, that's my personal preference. I can keep everything separate. I can look at it and immediately know by looking at those accounts when somebody has made a payment. When it comes through the servicer and I get paid, I don't have to guess. So I do that. I don't do that on my rental accounts. I have a rental account that I work with, but I'll put multiple rentals into that account, in my rental account, but I won't do my wraps. And I do that just for my own comfort. I keep enough money in those accounts that I don't have to pay a monthly fee. And banks are very friendly with that. Some banks, it's going to be a small amount. It's going to be, maybe $1,000 or something like that. And I'm always keeping enough money in there that, because I control making those payments to the mortgage company. I don't want somebody else in control of that, but I can look in there in that account really quick and know when somebody's made a payment, or in some cases they've gone out and refinanced the house, and I get paid off and I get a lump sum of money. I know exactly what property that lump sum of money came through on. So that was a question that came up earlier tonight regarding what I mentioned at the Sub 2 All Day course last Saturday. And so that was a great way to put that together. So Tim, thank you so much for being on here tonight. And we're gonna jump over. Did you have anything else to throw in there at the end?
No, that's good. Thanks.
All right, good deal. So so thank you, Tim, for being on here tonight. Our next IMT is Pam Clary. Pam is the person in Decatur Alliance Corridor area. She is the lady. I'm telling you, she has more deals going at any given time. She's the fix and flip king. Queen, I'm sorry. Queen, there you go. Fix and quick. Well, it is 2021. So we can all be whoever we want to be, right? So that's kind of how that works. So I'm sorry about that. But no, if you have not gotten onto her Facebook pages and seen some of these videos, you had one on there from your tile guy the other day. And oh my gosh, that was such great information. I immediately put it on my Lindale site so people could see, and my subject to page right here in Facebook. So they could see that what are some great questions from your tile guy on that process and how he makes things work and why he does what he does. And let me tell you something. I've seen some really bad tile jobs in my life. I saw one that on the edge of the tile is a barcode that the the manufacturers or whoever, retailers or whoever uses to scan. And on every corner of this bathroom on the shower, the barcodes were showing.
Oh no.
And I'm like, that would have been so easy. I went to a job one time and all the tile on the floor was upside down. And I'm like, who does that? Who, are you just fishing for finding idiots to go out and do your jobs? Or are was it the guy that owned the property that didn't know what he was doing? He or she, I don't know. But Pam, tell us what's going on. What's happening in the Northwest Fort Worth area?
The guy that did the video, my tile guy, he's not but in his 20s. He was so nervous, and he talked to me. He goes, I know I botched that up. I didn't do a good job. I said, oh no, you did a great job and everything. And I know this is not what you asked, but when you're getting into rehabbing and you want your contractors to get to know you and everything, he went to Florida Core the other day to pick up some tile, and somehow they got the tile mixed up. Anyway, he went to pick it up and he told the people, he said, this is not the tile that Miss Pam ordered. Y'all got this completely wrong. And he called me and showed me the picture, and I had to call up there. So, it's good to get to know your contractors, and your contractors getting to know you, because when they go and pick stuff up for you, they know what's right and what's wrong. So that's what I'm going to say about my tile guy. They are really, really good. I took them away from David Weekly. They did my personal house, and then I started getting them jobs, and they actually left the big market, and they're doing very well for themselves. So I'm really proud of them and everything. So I'm just want to say with Doug and Renee, I took my magic wand, and I guess it didn't work because we cannot get appliances to come in. We were going to put the house on the market this Friday after Thanksgiving, and I guess we're going to do it without appliances. So that explains, waving the magic wand and it not working, going to reality. But we've picked up some another property. I found this very interesting. I went to a chamber meeting Friday, and they pointed out, and I think this is something that we all need to realize and adapt to. One person moves to North Texas every 4 seconds. Every 4 seconds, one person is moving to North Texas. And so then we got to talking about, well, what is North Texas? The one thing is North Texas is definitely the Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton, all the way to Weatherford, down to Waxahachie. That is North Texas. People are moving in. So one thing that I've started doing is kind of branching out some, not staying just right in the middle. I know that our foreclosures have picked up, and I'm very surprised at even the big money houses. I know there's some foreclosures going on in South Lake, Westover Hills. I've seen some, and I'm like, wow. So there are people struggling. It's going to happen. I know we've been talking about it. It's going to happen. So I think everybody needs to get ready for it. I see it. And I would like to also reiterate about, John asked about money, where to borrow money. I think it's very, very important that you go to meetings, whether it's our REI meetings or other REI meetings. You need to get to know who people are. People need to see you at meetings so that you have an interest, that you want to learn how to do this. Because like Tim said, it may be your first deal, but they're still willing to loan money. But the more he sees you, the more risk, there we go with the risk, the more risk he is willing to do, to loan you that money because you're wanting to learn. I had a lady to call me and ask me if I would do a JV partnership. And there's a difference in JV partnerships, and that's going to be one of our topics either in January or February that we're going to talk about. And, if you're really wanting to learn about flips, then yeah, JV partner with somebody, but you need to understand their terms and, what's going on with it. So,
and a JV is joint venture.
Yes. A joint venture.
Joint venture.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we all do those. We all do a lot of those.
Yes.
I have people that, I say all the time, everybody wants to do real estate. Not everybody wants to do the work.
You're right. Exactly.
So,
And
you know,
so, but we have our next meeting December the 21st. It is the third Tuesday of the month. We are sticking to our schedule. I told you we're going to stick to our schedule. We are doing it, and it's going to be a light meeting. We're not going to. We are going to talk about safety. We have women that are in our group, and I've been driving around with some of the ladies, and we've been talking about safety. And I think it's something that people need to know about. You're going to walk into a house, and I'm single. I do this by myself, and there's safety precautions that you need to know about, and that you need to be aware of, and things to protect yourself. So December the 21st, we are going to talk about safety, and we have someone coming in that's going to talk about, I don't carry a gun. Sometimes I think I should, but I don't. And my family's, they worry about me because, I'm not always in the nicest neighborhoods. But that is our topic. It's going to be the 21st at Big Shot Golf, and we're going to talk about safety.
Wow, safety is a big. I have something I tell people all the time. We kind of joke about it. We laugh about it, but when I'm going to those crack houses and those bad neighborhoods and stuff like that, I always tell people I will always bring somebody along that I can outrun, because I can always get a new client tomorrow. So that's how that works. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this: you never want to drive a red BMW in those type of neighborhoods.
My wife had a Mercedes. I got pulled over twice, and some tough neighborhoods because I'm driving a Mercedes, and the cops thought I was there doing a drug deal. So there you go. I was. So I had to. I showed them my business card, and they were good with it. They kind of laughed about it, but so yeah, if you don't fit in, you want to be careful. You don't want to be a target. We joke about it sometimes, but it is a very serious.
It is a very
serious area, and I look forward to seeing that on the 21st. But yeah, safety is. There's some weird people out there, and
also, I mean, I have people talking about their wives wanting to go, or maybe not just a wife, but going into real estate. You need to know, even if you're thinking about being a real estate agent, to be aware of things. I mean, we've had women holding open houses, with stabbings, and which could have been prevented had they been known what to look for. So we're going to cover, some materials, about especially women, what women really need to do. And also, I think it'll break the ice for some people. They may be hesitant about getting into the business. Well, if the more your mindset is clear and the safer you feel, the more you'll want to get involved in this business.
Absolutely. So, Pam, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing that on the 21st. I'll work to get my wife there too, because she's also a realtor, and I want her safe. I want her to not be as concerned, but I want her to learn how to be aware, how to know what's going on. So, Pam, thank you so much. We will see you on the 21st. That's a great area there, and we're gonna now. Well, first of all, before we put Dennis on, I've had a couple of questions on how to put messages in the chat. So if you're on YouTube, you're going to kind of look over on the right side of the page, and it's going to say chat here. Now, it's not real prominent. It's not in bold letters, but it is there. If you're on Facebook, there's just an easy way to put chat on there. So put your chat questions on there. So so if you have any questions on that, you can send us an email. You can message us on Facebook or whatever. We'll be glad to get those questions to you. So, Pam, thank you so much for being on here tonight, and we'll see you in a bit. So, next we are going to ask our patriarch. I hope I got that right, Dennis Henson, and we were talking about that earlier tonight. So that's kind of fun. But Dennis is my guy. I mean, I depend on him on so many things that we do. And so welcome on here, Dennis. I do have a question that came in from George in Tennessee.
Okay.
And that question is what is the best way that you have found what is the best way you have found to find deals?
Well, something, part of our training is I teach 66 ways to find great deals. And the truth is, there's a lot more than 66 ways in the training, and they all work. Probably the best one that will work for you is the one that fits your personality the best. But the one that's worked for me is actually not even in the training, and I don't know that I've ever mentioned it before, but since you ask, I'm going to say this. I have found more deals because I started a real estate investing group than any other way that I've ever found deals. People bring me deals all the time, and I haven't had a meeting in a while. We have our IMTs that do meetings, and they're getting the calls now. I'm still getting calls and getting deals. People call me with problems. They have a deal that's a great deal, but they just don't know how to make it work. Many of the times, the way that we make it work is I become part of the deal, and instead of losing the deal, they make a lot of money, and I'm able to participate, and I make some money too, and it's a win-win situation all the way around. So if you would like to use that technique, contact your local Real Impact IMT or Roger or myself, and we can show you how to get started having a real estate investing group, and pretty much everything's done for you. We have checklists for every single thing you need to do, and we make it really simple and lots of fun. In fact, we have such a great time together. It's almost like a family. And I wanted to mention tonight, Thanksgiving's coming up, and I have so many things to be thankful for. I have the car that I want to drive, the house that I want to live in. I'm married to a wonderful, wonderful woman. I have a great family. My business partners are just lots of fun. They're just delightful to work with. I love all the IMTs, the group leaders that we have. It's like a big family. My life is just a wonderful life. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy real estate. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy writing. I like to read my own books and other people's books. So I'm a pretty happy person. And the main reason I'm happy is because one day I read where Abraham Lincoln said, a fellow's about as happy as he decides he wants to be. And I decided that I was just going to be happy the rest of my life. And that's why I'm happy. If you think you're happy, you really are. A couple of other things that I do want to mention, though, is I have a short tip, and the tip is from my friend Greg Gray, who's one of my students, and he's also an author. He says, to accomplish anything takes inspiration or desperation. So if you want to accomplish anything big, you need to be inspired or desperate. And I totally agree with Greg on that. Our upcoming events, and we've got some wonderful upcoming events. First of all, if you are a VIP in one of our groups, you'll be invited, or I hope that your IMTs will invite you to a train ride that we're doing 3 weeks from now. We're going to take a train from Fort Worth down to San Antonio and spend a day down there looking at the Christmas decorations on the Riverwalk. They're just gorgeous. And the train ride's a lot of fun if you know how to have fun on a train ride. So that's the first event coming up. The next one is we have Pete Fortunato coming in March. We have a brand new website, blockbusterevent.com. So if you want to learn about the Pete Fortunato, get signed up and everything, go to blockbusterevent.com. There's still some of the details that we're finalizing, so it may not be up and ready at the beginning of the week, but by the end of the week, we should have it all up and ready to go. Then our next getaway is at the end of March and 1st of April. And that'll be in Cancun. And that's on mastermindgetaway.com. And we got 1 minute left. We got it all squeezed in there.
Well, we have one more question from Tank that I think falls right into your deal.
Okay.
Is Tank Taylor. What a cool name is that?
Tank.
I love that name, Tank. So, hello, I'm new to real estate investments and wondered, how do you find or how do you approach buyers once you get a property under contract?
Well, okay. If you have a contract to purchase a property that you want to sell to another investor, is that what it is that you want to sell, or do you want to sell it to a retail owner?
Well, it may be retail. I'm guessing it's probably a retail client.
Okay. Well,
no, it might be a wholesale deal. I'm not sure.
Well, the best way to get in touch with people who want to buy retail is to list it on the MLS. Either have a partner or a friend or be a realtor yourself, but the MLS is the best way to get the word out the fastest. You know, it goes out to hundreds of thousands of people. There's no better way. Now, Facebook is great another way too, but they'll contact you. You don't have to contact them. You just advertise. And when they call you, then you need to know what to say. And the best thing to do is try to get them to come and look at the property. You ask them, you know, what it is they're looking for. If your property meets their needs, make an appointment to show them the property. Just like if you were selling a car, you want to get them in the car and let them drive it. So if you fixed your property up and it looks really nice, then get them into it. If you don't have any money and you haven't fixed it up, then you probably want to try to sell it to another investor. So call me first. and then Roger, and then make yourself a list of people who have money and are looking to purchase deals, and be sure to buy the property at a price that leaves a little bit of room so that you can sell it to another investor. And that's a really good way to get started without any money. Just tie the property up, sell it to someone else for a little bit more. Hope that helps.
Absolutely.
All right, call me personally.
Absolutely. So lots of things going on right now. We have lots of areas that we're working with. And what a great, I'm excited about Pete Fortunato coming in. If you've not heard anything on him, every day I'm reading on him. I'm watching him on YouTube. Oh my gosh, this is going to be, Dennis has been talking about Pete for a couple of years, and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. But the more I look into him, oh my gosh, this guy's he's so creative in his real estate. He's so dynamic in his speaking.
Right.
So that is just incredibly good. So thank you, Dennis. Great answers to those questions. Our training is based upon the Dennis Henson method of training. And Dennis has a book out, and it is The Royal Flush of Real Estate Investing. It is available on Amazon and available on DennisJHenson.com. So this is a first in how many books in this series? Is it how many?
12
books in the series. So this is a first in the series. And oh my gosh, this is just an absolute incredible book, and you need to read this. It's just dynamic. So look this book up. It's available DennisJHenson.com. It's available on Amazon. Just look up The Royal Flush. My first time looking up this on Amazon, you got to go through the toilet flushing mechanisms. So sometimes they'll throw that out there. So it's not that. It's a book. It's the book. So read the book. It's good. So Dennis, thank you so much for being on here tonight. We normally close it out with Dennis, but we had somebody come on tonight. Shireen is on here, and she has a question. She came through YouTube, and I think is she on here right now, or Nope. Okay, Shireen, just we gave you a lip after the meeting. You can click on, and I can individually answer that, and then we can get that question. We'll replay it for next week or something on that. So, Dennis, thank you so much. If we can put everybody on the screen and add everybody on here, so we are so excited that everybody's here. Thank you so much. We will not be replaying this next week. We will be enjoying and celebrating time with our family, with our friends. Invite your friends over, and then Shireen, just stay on. Don't log off, Shireen. We'll wait till after the event, and I'll work to get you the answer. So thank you everybody for being on here tonight, and we will see you in a couple of weeks, and then we got lots of stuff going on. So stay tuned. We'll see you. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.